All right, so what's up, guys? So it's about 6 a.m. and we're getting ready to go to the gym. I've already did my fasted cardio, did my daily morning pull-ups. I'm starting to do that to where I try to get 10 to 20, working my way up to 30 pull-ups, like first thing straight out of bed, because it's in my little door frame, like right going into my bathroom. And then, so yeah, I did that, cardio, sauna cold plunge, and now we're getting to the gym to train some push. We'll do chest, a little bit of shoulders, some triceps. Before we do that, I'll do a little Q&A, answer some questions that I got, and then yeah, we'll go from there. So we're about 12 weeks out right now from first show of the year. Cardio's not too bad, about 30 minutes a day. I might add in another 30-minute session. Calories are pretty good, about 3,000 calories on my training days, 2,500 on non-training days. And we're moving in the right direction. And one question that people had, or someone had, was what my diet sort of looks like right now. It is macros, but also I only have a select few foods that I eat. I'm only eating chicken, ground beef, fish, protein powder. Those are my main proteins, and then egg whites, and then carb sources, rice, potatoes. I'm not eating any oats right now. And then whatever the carb sources that are in the MRE shakes. I think that's kind of like a mix of sweet potato powder, oats, and stuff like that. So even though it's macros, it's very, very clean. It's prep food. I just kind of decide what I want to eat for that day. Protein's about 350 grams a day. And the rest is going to be pretty much carbohydrates. Low fat, high carb, high protein. But yeah, I was initially, before I went into prep, eating like cereal post-workout. That's gone. I've just swapped everything out for like low sugar, low glycemic index or high glycemic index, whatever the good one is. The higher fiber, slower digesting carbohydrates. Just trying to go full prep food, full clean, and we're down about 10 pounds or so within the last 3-4 weeks, which is pretty good. Off to a good start. The testosterone, masteron, trenbolone. I haven't implemented clenbuterol yet. I probably will this upcoming week. And then running a little bit of like L-carnitine. I've been trying a peptide, DSIP, Delta Sleep Inducing Peptide, to try to help improve my sleep. Not that it's bad, but if you can improve your sleep, you're going to improve your recovery tremendously. The thing that we want to do is not just pure weight loss, right? We want it to be as much fat loss with minimal to no muscle tissue loss while we're going into contest prep and while we're dieting. So in the initial phases of contest prep, once we start bringing calories down, a lot of that initial weight that's going to come down is going to be water and glycogen. As we reduce our carbs, that's going to reduce the amount of glycogen stored in our muscles. With the glycogen is going to go a little bit of water, and then the fat will start coming off. So it takes a while for you to burn through. If you're getting a high enough amount of protein, it's going to take some work to really lose muscle tissue. If you have enough protein and you're training intensely, you are going to lose little to no muscle tissue in the beginning, and potentially a lot of guys can grow into the show. If you're enhanced, that is definitely a thing to where you can actually add on muscle tissue as you're dieting down with proper use of anabolics. Now, the lower body fat that you get, the more your body fights against that, because you want to think you have a large abundance of muscle tissue and you have a very little amount of body fat. So for energy, your body is going to be predominantly using fat storage in the beginning, but when there's little to none, it starts going to muscle tissue, and that's where your metabolism starts slowing down, because you want to think your body's trying to preserve itself, right? It's kind of like a self-defense mechanism, I guess you could say, where you start to get more lethargic, more tired. Your body is trying to conserve energy because it thinks that you're essentially starving, right? Which you are, but in a controlled way. So in those sort of scenarios, as long as you keep your protein high and as long as you're training with intensity, you shouldn't really lose too much muscle tissue, and it should predominantly be fat loss. Come on. The difficulty with that is when you get super low calories and your energy is super low, it's really, really hard to maintain that same intensity. But ultimately, I think that's what separates the good competitors from the best competitors, is their ability to push through that. If you can go without refeeds or cheat meals, it's usually a little bit better. I like to think about refeeds and cheat meals and free meals as kind of like a mental break. And there will be a spike in your metabolism if you get a calorically dense food, but it's pretty acute. And so for me personally, I look to it as more of if you're dieting and you are locked in and you can go without a cheat meal or you can go without a refeed and you're like, no, I'm good, just keep pushing, then you just keep pushing. But that weekly cheat meal or that weekly refeed, as long as it's controlled, can be a benefit in helping having some sort of like mental release, right? Or something to look forward to. So I was speaking with a guy this morning in the sauna. He was talking about how he got ready for a competition, and he was like, yeah, I always looked forward to that cheat meal each week, right? So it can give you a little bit more motivation because you feel like you have something to look forward to, where you're not like, fuck, I have like 12 more weeks of this chicken and rice bullshit. But if you like, damn, at the end of the week, like, my coach gave me a burger and fries. And I've experienced this as well, where it's like at that end of the week, you're like, you go and have it, and it's not necessarily as good as you were anticipating it, but I think that anticipation keeps you locked in of knowing like, I get this break at the end of the week. So in terms of cheat meals and refeeds, I look to it as more of a mental assistance rather than that metabolic spike where, like I said, you'll get that boost in metabolism for sure. And then that following day, if you get enough carbs, if your body doesn't just completely burn through it, you'll have a little bit better of a workout. So indirectly, it might have some help with fat loss, but a lot of people choose to forego the cheat meals unless it's like 100% absolutely necessary.